You may be surprised to figure out that, in the last unit, we kind of talked about this concept that we don't know what we don't know, right? So then if we don't know what we don't know, how do we get to a place that we learn about those things or those things are exposed? One thing I will say before we even get into that is that you actually have to have the desire to get in that space, right? You have to have the desire to actually want to learn. And so that's the prerequisite for, many of these skills, but this one in particular. And so if you are looking for an answer, you will find an answer. And so when we think about the things that we know we don't know certain kinds of things, but if we're starting on this journey to look for them, there's an old adage, knock and the door shall be opened unto you, right? So many of us need to start knocking. And so when we think about this idea of bias, one of the things that, or these blind spots, I like to use this diagram, and I would encourage you to do this activity yourself, right? And so as you look at this vehicle, and some of you are familiar with this kind of vehicle, does this vehicle have blind spots? And as a part of the sessions that we've done, we've had people kind of indicate where those blind spots are on this particular vehicle. And some people would say that the whole thing is a blind spot. And so recognizing that requires something of you, right? It requires something of you, recognizing that this vehicle has blind spots. And I will tell you that it's not limited. These blind spots are not limited to this particular vehicle. In most vehicles that I've been in, the blind spots are in very much the same spots. And so the question is, are the blind spots that you have your fault? Are you to be blamed for the blind spots that you have? And what I would suggest is that it is not your fault. It is not your fault that your vehicle has blind spots. However, it is your responsibility. And there are a number of ways in which you can find out about your blind spots, right? So how do you find out about your blind spots? In the case of this car, I could back in and have an accident, right? That's one way to find out about my blind spots. I could say the wrong thing in a meeting. I could use the culturally wrong or taboo word or phraseology in a conversation, and boom, I've had an accident, right? And so I could find out about that way. I also can recognize that if I look for those things ahead of time, then I can also see them. I can find them, right? So I have to look for my blind spots, which means I actually have to be in relationships with people who can give me information about myself that I won't even see.